Hello, welcome to DittDott. My name is Amanda, and I am pretty sure if you are anywhere on YouTube, you have seen HelloFresh. It seems like almost every channel that I watch has a sponsorship from HelloFresh, and hopefully one day I will too. This, however, is a non-sponsored HelloFresh video. I have just been really curious about them. I'm a cooking channel and I also like to do product reviews. So I'm like, hey, why not review HelloFresh? And the perfect opportunity came up for me. My neighbor went out of town and her HelloFresh delivery got messed up. And so a box got delivered to her door. She sent me a text message and she's like, Amanda, can you use our HelloFresh this week? And I was like, absolutely I can. And y'all know me, I love all foods. So it didn't even matter what she had picked. I was gonna be excited about it. Her box that she ordered was for 2 portions. And so since we're a family of 4, I'm actually cooking this for lunch for my husband and I. So let me show you. Okay, I just opened the box and Watson is like, what do you got there for me, mama? And here are the recipe cards. Cavatappi beef ragu, shrimp and chorizo rice skillet, and turkey feta patties. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. And then there's some coupons. And then there's these little bags that are labeled really nicely. We've got QR codes on them. Please excuse my wrinkles. I've been busy traveling from the farm to your fridge. And then here's some more ice packs. And then here's our meats. The ground turkey, the ground beef, and shrimp. Oh, and some, oh my gosh, a New York cheesecake. That's got my name on it. And then more ice packs. Super cool. Which one should I cook? Okay, so you saw as I was opening up the box and what came in for the 3 different meals. And so today I'm going to do the shrimp and chorizo rice skillet, which sounds exactly like something that I would cook. So I'm very excited to see if they make it super easy. One thing about HelloFresh is if you love to cook, but you just don't have time to go to the grocery store, it can be very convenient. It's also really great for people with disabilities. My friend Joy, you can follow her at Joy Ross on YouTube. She's blind, and going to the grocery store is not easy necessarily for somebody who can't see. So if you get your ingredients shipped to you, and then you're able to just cook them, that can be helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the little bag here. We got some peas. Got a very nice looking bell pepper. This is smoked paprika, comes in a little packet. Turmeric. What is this? Seafood stock concentrate. Cool. It's like a tiny little package. More seafood stock concentrate. Here is our little chorizo. So you don't get very much sausage, but you know what? With the shrimp, the protein, that's gonna be plenty. Here is our rice, abaria rice. So this is the kind of rice that you use for risotto, and a little package of mayonnaise. Oh goodness. And 2 little baby garlics. So this was delivered on Friday in a box with all the ice, and today is Sunday morning. I'm gonna cook this for an early lunch. And all the ingredients still look really good, so I'm excited. This garlic could be better, but it's still fresh. Okay, like I said, honest review here. This is my first time experiencing this company. I'm gonna give them complete honest review. And then we've got our recipe card. So the first thing it says to wash and dry our produce, and then we're going to thinly slice our bell pepper and cut up our chorizo. So let me get a cutting board and I'll be right back and wash up my veggies. So what you see here is me cutting the top off a bell pepper and thinly slicing it. This is all done at 10x speed, and I'm peeling the garlic, showing that it's in good condition. And next, getting the chorizo opened and sliced into very thin circles. Okay, so I got my bell pepper chopped up, the chorizo, and the garlic, and I got a nice big skillet. And so let's go to the next step. Okay, so y'all know this is really crazy for me because I never follow recipes, but I am going to attempt to try to do this. Okay, it says heat a drizzle of olive oil in the skillet, and for people who are very particular and don't like the word drizzle, over on the side it does say use 1 tablespoon, but in the recipe it says just a drizzle. And you're not going to need too much because the chorizo is going to let out some fat also. Okay, and then we're going to add the bell pepper and the chorizo, but not the garlic. So I'm really excited. For one thing, another reason why a service like HelloFresh could be fun is because it could give you an opportunity to try flavors that you don't normally buy or that you're used to. So chorizo is not a sausage that I have used very often. It's fun to introduce that flavor into my lunch or dinners. And on one of the other recipe cards, hold on, let me grab it. This cavatappi beef ragu, I've never even heard of this dish. So it's really exciting to be able to try something that I would never have maybe come across. And what I'm actually going to use for these next 2 meals is have my teenage daughters use them because they both do like trying to follow recipes. So I figure this will be a really good way to teach them how to do some more cooking. So I'm really excited. And that is one of the reasons why I was actually thinking about getting a HelloFresh delivery box, is more for my teens to learn more hands-on cooking, because they say, I don't know why, but they say I'm a little bit too controlling in the kitchen. So this way I can be available, but they have everything that they need right here. Okay, let me show you. The chorizo is really putting off a lot of fat. So you really don't need too much of that oil to start with. Okay, so I lowered the heat because things are getting a little exciting in this pan while I add the next ingredient. So it says to stir in the rice. Okay, half of the garlic. That's not very much garlic. I'd be like up in the garlic. Although chorizo, you know, it's really flavorful. So half of the paprika. I'm just kind of eyeballing that, maybe a little bit more. And half of the turmeric. Yes, the herbs smell nice and fresh. Very excited about that, or the seasonings. So we're gonna go ahead and stir those in for just a minute or two, or not even that long, just a couple seconds to get the spices mixed and everything nice and fragrant. Heating up your spices kind of wakens them up and gives them really good flavor. And then we're going to add 3 cups of water. Hold on, do I have that right? Yep. Oh, I love that sizzling sound. Okay, 3 cups of water and the stock concentrates. One thing I'm really excited about these stock concentrates is they don't have MSG, which is a concern for my diet because MSG gives me migraines, so I avoid any products that contain it. So that is good to know. For me, I know it doesn't bother everybody, each to their own. It's funny how sometimes an ingredient can be a controversial topic, but you know, just like anything, some people are sensitive to certain ingredients and some people aren't, and you know, just you do you. Okay, so now we've added in the shrimp concentrate, or the shrimp stock concentrate, and we're going to bring it up to a boil. So I'm going to raise the heat back up. Oh, I'm surprised. It does not want us to cover it. Let me read that again. I would have covered it, but it says, bring to a boil, stir occasionally until the liquid has absorbed and the rice is tender for 15 or 20 minutes. Add a little bit more water if the liquid evaporates before the rice is fully cooked. So I am going to, again, like I said, bring this up to a boil, and then we will be back, and I'll pop on if anything exciting happens, but we'll just set our timer and actually, yeah. While that is boiling behind me, I'm gonna go ahead and make up the garlic aioli, which is basically a fancy way to say flavored mayonnaise. And it basically says, put the mayonnaise in a small bowl, and we're going to add in some of our garlic. And keep in mind, it is raw garlic, so put it to your taste preference. And then drizzle with a little bit of water until it's a drizzling consistency. And we're basically gonna be putting this on top of our dish, which is kind of interesting actually. So now I think I would have used lemon juice instead of water, but we're following along. I'm gonna give it a taste, see if you can taste the garlic, but letting it sit while that's cooking is gonna be good too. Yeah, that's just tastes like mayonnaise. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the garlic. Give it time to sit and absorb in. Very nice. All right, we'll be back when that is finished cooking. I'm just going to give it a stir occasionally like the recipe suggested. Everything's looking beautiful. You see my spoon? Because I will lean my spoon up on here, and yeah, it's getting chard marks from that. Bad habits, Amanda, bad habits. Okay, that has a few more minutes left. So while it's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and do the shrimp part of the dish. So it says, let's pull it out so it's kind of leaky, so I'm glad it's in this extra pouch. It says it wants you to pat dry the shrimp. I'm gonna do this over my sink here. Okay, sorry, this is the fault of having a one camera show. I've got shrimp fingers, so I can't really turn the camera to show you, but I'm basically, this bag has a opening up here at the top, so I'm turning it upside down and kind of draining off some of this liquid. Okay, yeah, definitely pat dry these shrimp. I'm guessing they probably ship frozen. They probably ship frozen so that by the time you're ready to use them, they're thawed out is my guess. And that's probably why there's a little extra liquid in them. But hey, food safety, I'm good with that. So let me give this a stir. Oh yeah, it's starting to thicken up. It's looking good. And then it doesn't include the salt and pepper that you need, but I mean, pretty much everyone has salt and pepper, so that's not a big deal. And then it says use up the rest of the paprika. And I'm gonna kind of lightly toss that, and then we will cook it while our rice is finishing up. Okay, so we want to heat up a second skillet with some more olive oil. If I was doing this without a recipe, I probably would have cooked the shrimp in this skillet first and then just set it aside and then put it back in at the end to rewarm it. That way I'd only get one pan dirty, but this works too. This is fine. So I guess that 1 tablespoon of oil at the beginning was meant to be split between the two pots, which makes complete sense because, like I said, that chorizo let off a lot of fat. So I'm gonna let this get hot, and then the shrimp is only gonna take a couple minutes to cook, and it's coming together. This is really fun. I actually am really enjoying having like all the ingredients together. One of the concerns is the amount of packaging that you get with HelloFresh. On their company website, it does say that they work to lower emissions, and that because you're using exactly the amount of ingredients that you need, that overall there's usually less waste. Okay, so I'm going to carefully put these shrimp in my skillet. Okay, the other thing is it says it feeds 2 people. But I mean, this is quite a lot of food. I wouldn't be surprised if it's really closer to 3. So I know I've heard a lot of people concerned that if they ordered these kinds of meal plans that the portion sizes are really small. But I mean, this is supposed to be a 2-person meal, and I mean, look at how much shrimp we got. So guys, I'm really satisfied with the portion sizes. Okay, shrimp doesn't take very long to cook up. This is almost done. I'm gonna kind of taste one of the pieces of rice to see if it's nice and soft, if I need to add more water. No, good. I'm gonna lower this down. Okay, I don't want any of the extra oil because that would be a little too much. So I'm trying to spoon the shrimp into my rice without catching that extra olive oil, because we're also going to add the aioli. So if you call it aioli, it doesn't sound like I'm just adding mayonnaise to the top of my dish. Fancy. And then we're going to add our peas for a pop of green. They don't take very long to heat through. Just need to add a smidgen of heat to them. I'd actually turned this off because the rice was getting done. Give it all a stir. Oh gosh, this is so good. Let me show you. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. Okay, so they cooked their dish in a fancy kind of pot. So they're like, drizzle and serve it family style out of their fancy pot. I'm gonna do that same thing with my not fancy pot, but you know, it's all okay. But yeah, look how much food. I mean, seriously, my kids don't eat a ton, but this is a skillet I use for a family of 4. And so seriously, I'm really impressed. They got it going on with the portion sizes. Okay, so drizzle. Oh, that white adds a really pretty contrast. Isn't there something about that drizzle that just makes it fancy? Okay, so let's give it our final taste and see what we think. It basically, what we created here is a quick paella dish. It has a creamy texture, even though obviously there was no cream added to it. I'm gonna taste one of these chorizos, because like I said, chorizo is not a sausage that I cook with very often. I always want to, but I just never do. I really like the texture of it. It's nice and chewy compared to the shrimp. Okay. I am so impressed, guys. I seriously wanted to give this a fair review. I, was hopeful and am still hopeful that one day HelloFresh and Amanda on DittDott will be future partnerships and friends, hint, hint, hint. But I also, for you, my subscribers and followers, I don't want to like mislead you, and I'm only going to review things honestly. And if this was like not good, I would let you know. Believe me, I actually went in with this hopeful, but kind of like, I'm super excited. And when you see YouTubers out there talking about HelloFresh and how it's good, yes, believe them. And so over the next couple days, I'm gonna have my daughters cook the other 2 meals that came, and I will put in a screenshot of the final dishes for those and wrap up the video at the end to let y'all know how it came out. Oh, and also one last thing, I just happened to notice on the bag, it says cook me first, obviously because of the shrimp. So they're like doing everything they can to help you out. Hubs and I just finished eating lunch, and this is how much is left over. So that is another complete lunch portion. So way to go, HelloFresh on portion sizes. Meal 2 were these turkey feta patties with bulgur salad, and oh my gosh, it was hello delicious. Okay, I saved this cavatappi beef ragu for last because it was the one I was least excited about. It just looked like kind of a plain, spaghetti with meat sauce. But hello delicious, I've already tasted it. It is really, really good. And again, this was for 2 people. This is gonna feed all 4 of my family tonight. Now, my kids aren't huge portion eaters, So I would say normally it maybe be 3 meals or dinner and lunches, but oh my gosh, about to call them in and eat dinner. This is so good. Editing Amanda here, and I'm gonna cut off the end of my video and add this ending instead, because at the risk of making this video even longer than it is, I did want to follow up and say, since filming everything, my husband and I did decide to go ahead and create a HelloFresh subscription. So right now we are also doing what my neighbor is with the 2 meals 3 times a week, because I find that's going to give me some flexibility to still create some of my own meals at home, because y'all know I love to cook, but also the fun of trying these new dishes. I really enjoyed the app. Was so easy to download and use, and then you just kind of get to pick off a menu. It's almost like at a restaurant where you're like, oh, that sounds good, that sounds good. So I really enjoyed that. And because I was using my neighbor's code, my first box I think was only like $10 or something. It was insanely cheap for all the meals that I get. And there's tons of HelloFresh codes out there. Again, because this is non-sponsored, I don't actually have any codes to give you at this time, but you can find codes out there on the internet if you're a new HelloFresh customer. And after that, I think the boxes for what I ordered would be about $70. But again, like I said, these portions are really big. And so for most of the meals, they're going to feed all 4 of us, even though we're only buying the 2-person one. And if not, it's going to be enough for 3 or 2. There's the portions are good. I feel like there is value in these boxes. So I will keep you updated. Make sure that you comment down below if you have any other questions that I might be able to help you with as a customer, not as anybody who's affiliated with the company. And please hit that like button. It'll help me with the algorithm. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until the next one, bye guys.